Hello everyone, I'm Teacher Dance, your English teacher, and I am here to help you prepare for your examination. Together, let's ace it! What to expect in your examination? Well, your examination covers modules 3, 4, and 5. Your exam won't be hard for you, especially if you study very well your review before examination and you listen to this review which is made specially for you. For Module 3, we have compound and complex sentences to show cause and effect relationship. In this module, you learned about compound sentence, complex sentence, and you also learned about subordinate clause or dependent and independent clauses. And you also learned about cause, what is cause, and what is effect. Or as a whole, what is cause and effect relationship. Those are the things you learned from this module. With that, so remember dependent and independent clauses. When we say dependent clause, it cannot stand by itself as a complete sentence. There's no complete thought in a dependent clause. And for independent clause, it can stand by itself as a complete sentence. This is the exact opposite of dependent clause. And so in your examination, there will be part where you have to identify the clauses, which ones are dependent clauses and which ones are the independent clauses. You just have to write letter D on the blank for dependent clause and I for independent clause. You don't have to write the whole words such as dependent and independent. You just have to write the letters D, capital letter D, and I on the blank. Just like this one. They prepared everything. Is this dependent clause or independent clause? This is independent clause, so you should have to write, or you should write capital letter I on the blank. And for the next clause, that's when she took the examination. Does this have a complete thought or none? Well, it does not have any complete thought at all. So therefore, this is a dependent clause. So you have to write letter D on the blank, okay? Remember also the definition of cause and effect. What is cause? This is the reason behind an event or action. And for effect, this is the result of the action. Let's try this type of text. Identify the cause and effect. Underline the cause and encircle the effect for each item. Again, you have to underline the cause and encircle the effect for each item. Do not be confused which to underline and which to encircle, okay? We have he was suspended because of his misbehavior. This is the sentence which shows cause and effect relationship. Now the question is, which is the cause? Then you have to underline it, and which is the effect, you have to encircle it. So in this example, you have to underline because of his misbehavior, because this is the cause or the reason of the effect, which is he was suspended. Here the result or the effect is he was suspended, so you should encircle this part. And for Module 4, which is about subject-verb agreement, there's a lot of rules discussed in this module. Kindly refer to your module and recall all these rules. Well, not all the rules will be assessed in the examination. However, you don't know which exactly the rule which will be part of your examination. So therefore, you really have to study all the rules in this subject-verb agreement lesson. In this module, you also learned about what is subject in a sentence, and you should recall about this because that will be part of your examination. Let's recall what is a subject. In this sentence, we have Peter eats vegetables. Now, for you to be able to identify the subject in a sentence or in this sentence, you have to answer the questions such as who performs the action or who does the action. And the answer here is Peter. So therefore, the subject in this sentence is Peter. Remember, it is very important for you to identify first the subject in a sentence so you know which verb to use in the sentence. Let's try this one. You have to underline the subject in each sentence. That's the direction. Now let's try sentence number 1. My dog loves the postman. What is the subject in this sentence? It's the dog. It's the dog who performs the action, which is loves. So therefore, you have to underline dog or my dog. Next sentence is, I and Jennifer walk to the store. Who does or which word does the action? It is I and Jennifer. So you have to underline I and Jennifer because this is the subject in this sentence. And another part in your examination is to identify the verb that will agree with the subject in each sentence. Write the answer on the blank. So there will be blank in your examination. Then you have to write the word or the verb there on the blank, okay? Number 1 or the first sentence is, my dog loves the postman. First and foremost, the subject in this sentence is my dog. So my dog, is this singular or plural? It is singular, definitely. So therefore, your verb must also be singular in number, and that is loves. So therefore, your answer should be loves. My dog loves the postman. We also have the second sentence. I and Jennifer walk to the store. We have I and Jennifer as the subject in this sentence, and it is a plural subject. So therefore, you have to take a plural verb, and between walk and walks, the plural verb is walk. So therefore, you have to write the word or verb walk on the blank. Let's also try this one. You have to write sentences using the verbs provided. So therefore, if the verb provided is in singular form, then the subject must also be in singular. If the verb provided is plural, then your subject must also be plural in number. For example, the verb donates, it's in singular form, so therefore your subject in the sentence must also be singular. You may write, she donates half of her prize to the charity. And lastly is Module 5, which is about kinds of adjectives. In this module, you learned about limiting and descriptive adjectives as we focus on these kinds. And with that, remember that we have limiting and descriptive adjectives. For limiting adjective, this defines the noun rather than describes it. Or on the other word, it helps to limit a noun. And we also have ordinal and cardinal limiting adjectives. And for descriptive, it is the most commonly used kind of adjective because it is used to describe someone or something by modifying the noun or pronoun. Now in your examination, you have to use kinds of adjectives and write a paragraph or descriptive paragraph about, I won't reveal the topic that you have to write about in your paragraph. Of course, that's a surprise. So at least you have the hint that you have to write a descriptive paragraph about this unknown topic. And that wraps up the things you have to expect for your periodic exam next week. You just have to study, review, and I hope you listen to this review very well because, well, I made this video specially for you. So you just have to take this seriously and, of course, do your part for your examination. That is all. Thank you so much and God bless you all. Bye-bye.